Okay, bro, stay with me because what I'm about to show you is one of the most calculated things I have ever seen happen on a Hollywood press tour. There is a moment, a single moment, where Anna Kendrick is sitting right next to Blake Lively, cameras rolling, journalists watching, and instead of doing what every other celebrity does in that situation, she does something that nobody clocked at the time. And I promise you, once I break it down, you are going to rewind it and watch it again with your jaw on the floor, because this was not an accident. This was not nerves. This was Anna Kendrick telling the world exactly what kind of person Blake Lively is years before any of us were ready to hear it. And the craziest part, nobody listened. We are going to fix that today. All right, quick bit of background for anyone just catching up. No cap, this whole story goes way deeper than most people realize. Back in 2018, Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick starred together in A Simple Favor. The movie made nearly $100 million on a $25 million budget, so by Hollywood standards, it was a genuine hit. On the surface, the two seemed like a great pairing. Charming, funny, good chemistry on screen. The press tour looked fine. Fans loved them together. But here's the thing. Even back then, if you were paying close attention, something was off. The interviews felt slightly too stiff. The energy was slightly too forced. And there were these little moments, these micro moments, that everyone filed away as just Hollywood being Hollywood. Fast forward to 2024, and the It Ends With Us disaster drops. Blake is on set with director Justin Baldoni. Things go sideways in a massive way, and suddenly everyone starts going back through the archive looking for patterns. What they found stopped them cold, because Anna Kendrick had apparently been waving a red flag the whole time. We just were not looking. So here is where it starts. During the A Simple Favor press tour, Anna and Blake are sitting in an interview together, and the host asks Anna about muting people on social media. And Anna goes, "Yeah, there are a couple of people I have muted," and she laughs it off. Now at the time, everyone laughed with her. Cute, relatable, moving on. Except bro, she was sitting right next to Blake Lively when she said it. And given everything that has come out since, fans are going back to that clip and reading it completely differently now. That was not a throwaway line. That was Anna Kendrick sitting directly beside her co-star, basically announcing to anyone paying attention that she had already mentally checked out of whatever friendship they were supposed to be selling. And then there is the BuzzFeed interview. This one is genuinely wild. They were asked about the most difficult day on set, and Blake explains that she was allowed to come in an hour and a half late one morning because she had worked late the night before. Fine, happens. But then she gets there, sits down in hair and makeup, looks around, and asks where Anna is. And the crew tells her, "Anna has been ready for an hour. We did not push her call time." Anna's response to that story, in real time in the same interview, "That was the day I decided I hate you." She is laughing. Blake is laughing. The host is laughing. Everybody acts like it is banter. But now people are watching that clip back and asking a different question. What if Anna was not joking at all? What if she was just very good at making a serious thing sound like a joke? And here is where it gets crazy, because it was not just little comments in interviews. Behind the scenes, according to a source who reached out to the Celebrity Memoir Book Club podcast, things were genuinely bad. The source claimed they worked at Lionsgate at the time and said, and I quote, "The rumors are true. They hated each other." The studio apparently had to sit both of them down and tell them to make it look like they got along on press tours because it was becoming obvious to everyone watching. A producer reportedly described the tension on set as unbearable. They had to shoot around it. Now look, I know what some of you are thinking. This is just normal Hollywood beef. People work together all the time and don't like each other. It doesn't mean anything. And look, fair point. Except the Anna situation is not just one comment or one awkward interview. It is a pattern that spans years and keeps getting confirmed by new people. Think about this. An assistant director from the first film, Barbara Seaman, dropped a comment on a promotional post for the sequel. She wrote that her experience working with everyone on A Simple Favor was absolutely amazing, except for one person, who was the reason she quit being an AD entirely. She then added a follow-up saying, and this part is brutal, "I cried my way home many nights because you try so hard to please someone who is never pleased and puts you down constantly." She deleted it quickly. Fans saved the receipts. Now, that is not a co-star with an axe to grind. That is a crew member who left the industry because of how she was treated. And she is not pointing at the director. She is not pointing at the studio. Stay with me here, because this matters. And then on top of that, the sequel rolls around. Another Simple Favor is in production, and suddenly the billing war starts. Anna had top billing on the first film and assumed, reasonably, that she would have it again. She has been in twice as many films as Blake. Her movies have grossed over $2 billion collectively. Blake's are just over $1 billion. By every metric, Anna is the bigger star. But Blake's team pushed hard. Weeks of negotiations. Eventually, a compromise was reached. Staggered billing. Anna's name appears first, but Blake's sits physically higher on the poster, and fans immediately noticed. Blake's name is floating just slightly above Anna's on every single version of the poster they put out. Wait for it, because this is where the whole thing connects to something much bigger and much more recent. The Baldoni lawsuit was supposed to be over. Both sides put out a joint statement earlier this year talking about settling and moving on. And for a brief moment, it looked like the story was finally done. Except it was not done at all.
Just when I thought this whole thing was over, the judge goes ahead and drops a grenade like this in Lively versus Baldoni. Okay, if I'm understanding this correctly, the judge wants each side to argue who has the burden to prove what. So like, is it Blake Lively's burden to prove that she needs to be awarded legal fees? Or is it Wayfair's burden to prove why she isn't? Why I think this is interesting is because not only that, they're gonna submit their arguments in a few days, but he has scheduled an oral hearing. His argument will last 1 hour with each side allocated 1/2 hour. Guys, do I get on a plane? Might be able to make it out there in time, but I don't know. The Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 54 from my understanding, that rule is when they award attorney's fees after a judgment is made. So is he trying to say that Code 47.1 is the same as? I can't wait for the lawyers to talk about this.
After the settlement was announced, Blake's team came back and requested damages and legal fee payments from Baldoni's side. Baldoni's camp disputed that any of that money was owed. And now, as of this week, they are heading back to court. A hearing has been scheduled for June the 1st, called by Judge Louis Lyman, specifically to address the question of whether Blake is owed punitive damages, treble damages, and legal fees from Baldoni and his production company, Wayfarer Studios. Both sides were given until May 31st to submit letter briefs. The turnaround is tight, which, according to legal analysts, suggests the judge wants this resolved fast. So let's just recap where we are. The lawsuit was settled, then Blake asked for more money. A judge struck down her attempt to file extra briefs on it, and now there is a new court date. And remember, this is the same case where 10 of Blake's original 13 claims against Baldoni were already dismissed earlier this year. She won when Baldoni's countersuit was thrown out in the summer of 2025. But that is essentially it in terms of clean wins. So here's the question nobody in the mainstream media is really asking. If Anna Kendrick clocked Blake's behavior back in 2018, if crew members were quitting and crying on their way home from set, if the Lionsgate team was coaching them to fake a friendship for cameras, what does it tell you that we are now in 2026 and Blake is still in court trying to extract more from someone she already settled with? Anna said, "Little did I know," in one of those old interviews when she was talking about meeting Blake through Ryan Reynolds. She said it with a laugh, but go back and watch her face. It is not the face of someone telling a joke. Here is what I actually think is going on. Anna Kendrick is not a dramatic person. She is not the type to start public feuds or give fiery interviews throwing people under the bus. She is sharp, she is dry, and when she has something to say, she tends to put it in a single sentence and then let it sit there. The muting comment, the "I hate you" comment, the BAFTA speech about respecting directors, the silence at the Another Simple Favor premiere when asked about Blake. All of it follows the same pattern. She does not explode. She drops one line and walks away. And every single time, people laugh it off in the moment and then come back to it 6 months later going, wait, was she serious? She was serious. And now, Blake is back in court, still fighting a case that was supposed to be settled, still battling over billing on a sequel with a co-star who has reportedly told executives she would rather promote the film alone than stand next to her. A former assistant director quit the industry over her. A Lionsgate insider confirmed they hated each other. And Judge Louis Lyman has a hearing scheduled for literally today. Anna Kendrick warned everyone. She did it quietly, she did it with a smile, and she did it years before the rest of Hollywood caught up. The question now is what happens when the cameras finally stop rolling and there is nowhere left to hide? Because based on what we are watching play out in real time, Blake Lively is running out of people willing to pretend everything is fine. And no amount of Instagram post or legal maneuvering is going to change what people already know. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Team Anna, or do you think this is all being overblown? Anyway, this concludes today's video. Be sure to subscribe to LoafTube for future celebrity videos, and turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Until then, see you in the next one.